just going to be going live with my friend, Miriam. Planned. I was just thinking of friendships, and I was also thinking about like some things I was struggling with at the time, and immediately her call comes in, and like that's the kind of friendship I've enjoyed with her and a couple of other of my friends. So it's really good to see that good friendships really do exist. So we're going to be talking about that because I feel like over the years, even as I've grown up and all of that, and we're going to be talking from the standpoint of Christianity, basically. So I've spoken to, I interact with a lot of Christians because I am a Christian, and people are usually like friendship is, I don't trust anybody, friendship is hard, I cannot deal with friendship drama. So I've really enjoyed like drama-free relationships, and Miriam is one of those people that have given me like drama-free relationships. So I'm also someone who is usually, I think, often misunderstood. So she'll talk about that as well. When you're just misunderstood, you feel like people don't understand you, like what's happening. So she's one of those people who I literally never have to explain what I'm thinking or why I did what I did, that kind of thing. Before I say a word, literally, like Miriam already understands where I'm coming from. If I'm talking, like we have another mutual friend who, when we're having, when I and Miriam are having conversation, she's like, "What are you saying?" Because before I say one thing, she has completed the sentence. She has completed the sentence. She has completed the sentence, and it's like I don't know what you're saying, but Miriam gets me like that. So she's also the kind of person, like I said earlier, if I'm thinking about something is bothering me, like before I blink, I look at my phone is ringing and Miriam has called me and she's talking about that exact same thing that is bothering me, or she had gone through that same thing maybe a year before. So she's almost like I don't know if she knows this, but she's almost like a trail for me, kind of, because if I'm going through something today, she probably went through it last week, last month, last year. So I've enjoyed that kind of thing with her. So yeah, we'll just start right about now. So here's Miriam, because I've been talking about things all evening. What happened that you were struggling to to connect? Yay!
I don't know. I think it was wrong with it.
So you're looking beautiful.
Actually, I think it's network.
Okay, it's network.
Thank you.
So thank you for joining in. So like, first of all, I didn't even know you were going to join, because Miriam is not the kind of person that will do this at all. I feel like, is this your first live Instagram live? Is this your first Instagram live? Why are you laughing?
Yeah, actually, yes, it is.
So she's not like, this is not Miriam at all. Like, I'm sure when I asked her to do, she typed like 10 M's like 5 times. I'm like, Madam, are you doing and you're not doing? Let me face my front. So she's like, and I keep talking. Okay, so this is what I have in mind. And we're going to join. I'm like, okay, is it a yes or is it a no? But so she's here, and we'll just be talking a little bit. So do you want to do like your own personal introduction of yourself, or should we just like dive right in?
Let's just dive right in. There's nothing much, pretty much to say. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So let's start. So I think, like we had said, this thing will just be like a gist, but then now you're just like quiet. So let me ask a first question just to get us like right in line. So, as a Christian,
All right.
how has like friendships been for you? Like your friendship experience as a Christian, not just as a person. So, like being intentional over the years, what has the friendship experience been like for you? How have you met people? Have you been able to connect with people as a Christian on a very interesting, on a very beneficial level. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few really good relationships, and before then, before I got to that level, I can boldly say that as a Christian, I've had good relationships in that I have friends who I can be vulnerable with and who can know me, like who see through me. Okay, and my walk with the Lord, it took time actually. It took time. So I mean, I grew up. I gave my life to Christ early. Yeah, let's say probably primary school. You know how this thing goes, but the growth process, okay, happened and all of that. So Catholic family background, you have to break through. You have to let me not say break through, break free,
Break free.
kind of, and stuff like that. So I started being misunderstood like from that people is like they couldn't understand me. What like when you felt even right from home, it felt like I was alone, kind of in quotes. Okay, physically, my siblings and I pretty much don't really look so much alike. I'm like the odd one out
True.
physically, alright.
Yeah.
So and that happened that spiritually too, and the way I reason because I had given my life to Christ quite before then and all of that. I saw things differently, and I had there's this hunger and passion that they just could not comprehend, like and it was this era when holy holy, no one you're doing holy holy. You get my point? It's that kind of a thing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and I got in that environment, so you have to try to tone it down, and so yes, I was misunderstood and I just kept on. I just kept on at some point. I tried to blend in, trust me. I tried to blend in, but it didn't work.
What?
Okay, it didn't work. So at some point, I just had to run my race. I just had to face front, literally. Well, let me just face front. It's only me and God that can understand what's happening on my inside, right? So, and so I pretty much didn't really talk, kind of. There are times when I remembered I would cry, like I would stay on my own. I would cry, I'm like, God, can someone, God, can you just send someone that can actually see, like a counselor, that kind of a thing
That
that can I
understands.
just stay in this
Yes.
kind of, yes, I would
The safe
understand what
space
I'm
where.
feeling and what
Yeah.
this, yes, exactly. So, and I looked around, even adults didn't understand. Talk less of the kids, your age mates, they wouldn't even understand. They
The
will
worst.
join your generation. Why are you thinking like this? So, uh, basically, so that was just it. So I was like a loner in quotes.
Yeah.
So, and at some point, I just didn't care. I just had to do my thing, and I
Move
just,
on.
hi, hey, how are you? Oh, good. But
There
I
was no
cannot really
depth.
converse. I can't really talk to you in certain levels. Yes, I can't really go because number one, you would think I'm weird. Number two, you would think my own is too much. You would think like I don't know, but you just can't understand me. So I just left it. So then let me not talk too much. So pretty much
Okay.
later on in life,
So like
as
how
God will have it,
many
a few
so like
people
how
start
many
coming
years
around,
did it take really?
and
Like, and did
babe,
you,
it
yeah,
took
it
a
took time.
lifetime. Sorry to cut you.
So okay.
It took
Okay, so I think
I don't
okay,
know.
so
I don't know
I
I'm gonna say lifetime.
I think for me personally, I
Yeah.
think the transition between because like you, like your own story, you gave your life pretty early, primary school. So for someone like me, it took me. I didn't give my life to Christ early. I gave my life to Christ about when I was 19, right? So I was pretty much, in fact, I was already
Wow.
living teenagehood. Do you get what I mean? So for me, I
Mm.
think what happened
Mm.
for me
Okay.
was,
Mm.
and I'm also naturally a lone ranger. So what happened for me was, even though I had friendships as an unbeliever, they weren't really like, they were just people I could gist for hours long with, just about music, just about movies. But even like probably
Mm.
like the mischief I was up to in my teenage years, I wasn't sharing with anybody. So if I was doing like I was doing a lot of crazy stuff, but I wasn't sure. Like, what's the point? I was just doing it and just moving on.
What's
So
the point?
for
Doesn't get it. Yeah.
so for me, I think my own transition was necessary because I didn't go through that point of Christianity. It's like um, I didn't go through um, just jumping um, from being born again to now having friends. So it took a while for me. I think mine was necessary because it's kind of I think God really wanted to ground me, like because of how my personality is. So I'm the kind of person who
Yeah.
can go weeks without talking to anybody. I'm fine. Like nobody will die. I'm that kind of person. So I don't know if it was because I went through that or it's just my personality. So now for people who, because I'm like that, like if I don't, and which is why I like your friendship is really interesting because it doesn't need plenty oil, doesn't need plenty drama, and anytime we get to talk, it's like
You know,
it's
you
still solid.
understand. Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So for people who are now moving from like that transition phase before you now start having friends, what happened in that period? What happened to you in that period where it was just you?
Okay. Um. Yeah. So in that period, all I did was I just pretty much focused on God and loving Him, and I pretty much focused on the instructions that He kept on giving me, even as a child, I would say, for time, because there were deep-seated assignments, like there were things that, like, let me just give an example. So basically, the answer to your question is I focus on God. Okay, then I'll go to this example. Okay, so at a particular time, my dad kind of like didn't really want us to gel so much with my mom's people, you know, and I felt God wanting me to know about my roots as at that age. Okay, and so I needed to know the pattern that run in both paternal and maternal
Families.
Okay, so and yes. So I had to at that point that they didn't understand. They wouldn't, and you can't explain it. You get my point? You can't say, Dad, why are you not wanting us to
believe?
There's nothing wrong. Yes, but I knew that God wanted to show me something. He had to show me something at that time. I told you there at some point I had to say my grandmother and how God even did it. How he even did it, I don't know, but he did it. And long story cut short, I learned what I needed to learn. Okay, and yeah. So at that stage when it's like nobody understands you, just know that there's he orchestrates. There's how he does it. There's something called God incidences. You can't even explain it.
Yes.
So just bask in those moments. Right. Just follow. He takes the lead and be stay in his shadow. Okay. When it's as if I've been in environments where I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna put it, but they just everybody, right, is in opposite directions. Yes. And you're pretty much the only one in your own space.
Yes.
In your own space, you know, and yes. So at when you're in that kind of a situation, all I can say is just love upon God. Yeah, love upon God, and He always brings circumstances to pass that would lead you to people. I told you also there that God also has everything He does for me. That He keeps people to help me at every stage of my life.
Yes.
At every stage in my I don't even need to connect to them in that level that I soulishly want to. I don't need to connect in that level. But He has stationed them. They don't even have to be born again. They don't even have to be so in depth in their work with God. But God has, I know. Yeah, like I know. They might not even know that it is God that even did this thing that made me to meet this person. They wouldn't understand it, but I understood that at this level, you were there to help me cross over at this yes of my life. So and because I know that and I'm sensitive to that, I kind of like I'm pretty much I try to like there's this prayer I pray a lot. I say, God, help me in my relationship. I pray so much because I don't know how. God, I need you in my relationships with men. You know, because these people that you're bringing my way and stuff like that, at some point in time, I don't know, they would. I know it is temporary. Let me put it that way. But they don't know.
They don't know.
They might want to feel like, you're my ride or die for my person for life. Like, you get my point. I am so in their own thinking. You're like their bodies forever, but you know, like that person is there for that season. There's a Noah. Like you just know that this thing is for this reason, and after this reason, anything can happen. Sorry, after this season, anything can happen. I just understand it. Yes, okay, I just understand it.
Okay. So so I think this is, let's just pause here for a minute because I think this is very I think this is almost, I didn't know we were going to come here, but it's hitting me in a different way. So I think is this what causes problems in relationships where you have this drama of hey, this person, we're not hanging out as much as we used to anymore. It's as if you have other friends. It's especially with females. I think females have that. I don't know about guys.
Yes.
But I think girls have that a lot. Where because at times people call me and they are like, it's not as if I love you dearly, but they call and it's like you have forgotten. Then they are serious. They are pained. You can almost see that they are almost bleeding on you.
Yes, very painful. Very painful. Yes.
You don't love me anymore. You don't. I'm like, I love you. Oh yeah, what is the issue? And there's no problem. Like you're not dying. So what? So like, how do you? So in instances like that, how do you manage such things? Are you going to be like, I beg, madam, face front, let's face Jesus, or like, how have you managed those kind of situations? Because now it's almost like
so for me,
for people like that, it's not about them. Okay, so continue.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, I just I pretty much it's a location kind of thing as well for me in a way. So I just know that somewhere somehow this place that we always meet is going to change. Okay, and because I know that change is going to happen, I try to manage it at that time. Okay, so I was wrong, you're not talking to me. I've told you everything about myself, you're not telling me so much about yourself. I hear that even till today. You know, I've met people that, you know, they're kind of people that when it comes to all of this, they're telling you everything. Of my mother, my father, they did this. Oh my God, when I woke up in the morning, I wanted to wear white dress, and all of a sudden, I just feel like I should wear blue. Oh my God, my neighbors are they're giving me headache. Did you see what this person did? They want to bring all this kind of gifts, and I'm not that kind of, you get, I'm not the kind of those gifts. I don't come and be telling you, hey, my sister did something to me today and I do not like it. I don't know how to, you know, strike such conversations. Yes, so, and, so in such scenarios, I just, oh really, okay, yes, so I become the listener. Yes,
okay.
The listener part of me tends to dominate more.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, don't come more. So I just listen. So when you get to a point where you want to now start your own complaining, it's only that I don't even know anything about yourself, you know. And recently I just learned. I'll just, what you want to know about me? Just ask me. I'll tell you.
Just ask me. Yeah,
but for me to come personally, and yes, just ask me.
Like recently,
yes.
I was standing with
if there's anything you want to know about me,
ask me. I was standing with somebody.
Yeah.
And I've known this person for a while. So in fact, I did as if I didn't hear what he said. But we're standing together, and it's just I feel like it almost kind of slips out, and he was like, I feel like there are a lot of things, and he didn't say, I feel like there are a lot of things I don't know about you. He said it like, I feel like there are a lot of things we don't know about you. And I'm like, who is we?
Yes,
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've had that a lot. And I think me, for instance, so this is me saying, this is how I know people. How I know. What I do is, to be honest, I don't ask a lot of questions. What I do is I experience people. So if I want to know you, like
Yes,
how
thank you. That's
we
the word.
like how we
I
started
like
to
it. I love
connect,
the way you said it.
like I begin to experience you. So when we go out together, I'm watching how you eat. I'm watching how you talk to strangers.
Yes,
I'm watching how you relate with your family. So it's like how I think I
yes,
only went with you once to your families at Festac house, but I was soaking it all in.
yes, yes.
Do you get what I mean? So
All
like
in.
if yeah,
Yeah,
so if I'm
yes,
with a person, I'm not I'm usually not carried away with okay, so what do you do? How are you? I'm looking at your WhatsApp statuses, like what do you post often? What when we talk, what do you talk
yeah,
about often? So these are just tips to knowing people. And I
yeah.
feel like if you keep asking questions, usually people will only tell you what
What? Yeah.
it will be filtered.
What
But
they
if
feel
you
you should know.
experience people,
Yes, you feel that.
but if you experience people, you enjoy it better. So you live more in the moment. Because
Yes,
I
you
feel like a
enjoy
lot of
it
people,
better.
a lot of people, if I'm like when I'm talking with you, talking with Tokwe, like I'm soaked in it. I'm enjoying. Like I'm not telling that you're talking. I'm like, is this thing true? And then anytime you talk, I'm trying to like poke holes in your
Thank
story.
you.
Like, how did that happen? But I'm looking at how
No
you're saying it.
suspicion. No suspicion.
Yes, no
Yeah. Yes. No.
yes.
Yes. You're not
Okay,
thinking. You're not thinking like, what am I going to say now that will offend?
that
That
will
will
offend
offend
this
this person?
person.
No. Hey, if I
Yes.
laugh too much now,
How is it going
how
to?
is it going to take? How will the person take my laugh? Hey, the way I'm even sitting now, I like, you get my point. So, like, we tend to, like, we're talking about, I don't want to call it, like the topic is, we don't want to say Christian friendship and this thing
Yes,
friendship. We're spirit based, yes,
exactly,
we know.
exactly. So
Okay, so I'm
here's
just gonna, yes,
here's correction. So
yeah,
they will tell you what they think you want to hear. So it was almost like
exactly,
when PK did a series on like closure, or when people want to like they want to ask their exes like why did we break up? What are they going to tell you? Like, will they tell you that they are obviously not going to tell you this is usually they'll tell you what you want to hear. So I think we are almost like yeah, they'll tell you what you want to hear. So okay, so I think we've talked about. In fact, there was something that you said, but I've kind of missed. I really wanted us to stay on that, but I've forgotten it. Okay, so let's move to. Okay, now we've gone through the time of where you're just chilling and like enjoying God, no friends. So, did you position yourself better for good relationships? Was there something you changed, or they just happened? Like the bulk of your good relationships, how did they happen? Did they just like happen, or there was something in your mind that changed, or there was something you changed in your countenance?
okay. So, I would say in the fullness of time, they happened. Yes. So, in the fullness of time, they happen. Yes. Okay. Like the way I met you, for instance, I I don't know if you know this, but I used to see you from afar. First time we saw was in Dunamis, and I'm like, this girl. Just look at her. I'm like, okay. She's just there. You just keep quiet and stay at the back, just praying, and we'll go back. I'm like, okay, nothing pretty much. Trust me, not like I saw in the dream, like, oh my God, this is the person I'm still going to connect so much with, okay, and all of that. Nothing like that. So it was until you're the one that even told me that, yeah, God had shown you that you're going to bring people your way at some point. It's after we had met and we had started talking and all of that. So, and it was later, when we started those conversations and, how it happened and God just did it. So I didn't really do something so like at every season of your life. I don't know how I'm going to put it, but this is just what it is. It has worked for me personally. You know, don't go out there forcing friendship. Don't go out there trying to make it work with people whom probably God does not want in your life. Don't go out there. Don't hold on too tight. That's just what I'm gonna put it. Don't. Life is not hard. Life is we we just complicate it for ourselves, you know. And God is our ever present help. He helps us even in our relationships with other people. And the people that He wants in your life at time, it will just happen. It will happen. Okay. And remember this popular CDJ's message, let it go. Yes, I don't know if you remember it then,
Yes, yes, I
you know.
remember.
That let it go series. It just came to my mind now. Their part in your story is over. Let it go. I don't know, but yeah, at some point it's gonna be painful. Like, yeah, you're gonna feel it, but brace up, okay? And I just want to say this clearly that we are spirit beings. We are spirit beings. Man is a spirit. He has a soul,
Yes,
and he lives in a
yes,
body.
yes,
Yes, there's nothing
yes,
as we both are still the way we are today because we kind of like had a spirit to spirit connection.
yes, yes.
You get my
So
point?
now there was
Yes.
something that
So
happened.
to able to
I
see
was
through me,
talking
I mean,
to I was talking to a friend. The week I think the week you got married. So he's someone I'm close with, and like anytime because I used to use his gen a lot. So anytime he puts on the gen, I'll go there and work with my laptop. So I was talking about you, and like one of my closest friends are getting married, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, it's not all this friendship. Once someone gets married, that's the end. Like the friendship has finished. So just know that your friend has gone. So I laughed, and I was like, yeah, that's how it used to happen. So me, like when he said it, me, I was already ready that okay, Ngwanu, that's how it used to happen. Okay, yeah, now friendship has finished. So like what you just said, like the reason why it's still like why our friendship is still the way it is because like there was a spiritual connection. So like before you came on, I was saying like the people I'm close to right now, I met them in the like. Do you know? I didn't even notice you in Dunamis. That's like I never. Do you know the first time I noticed you was at we had a Project Beautiful meeting, and that's the only like
Yes.
let these people not hear me, but that's the only Project Beautiful thing I've gone for, and you were here,
Me too.
Vera was
That
here,
was the
and you were here.
thing.
Yes, and
Yes.
then I think we said
Yeah.
something, and it literally like we just caught on it, and we're talking
It was
above.
rooted. Yes.
Yes, and we're talking above the person that was in the middle of us. We're just talking about the person's head like this,
Yes.
and that was when that was the first time I noticed you, and from there was just like there was just an instant connection, and I've not gone for any beautiful meeting since
Just
then.
explain. I did not before I met. I had not.
Mm.
I had not. And I want to say something here. Um, someone that you wonder what all these good connection thing that I'm calling. It's just my okay. So
Mm-hmm.
don't generalize
Yep.
it.
Mm.
Why I say that is because ever since we had back encounters with God,
Yeah.
like we had God influences.
Mm.
You know, there are events that happen, like there are depths that we shared in God. So like
Mm.
that at that season of our life, you know, and our walk with the Lord, we were intertwined
Mm.
in a way.
Mm.
Okay? And so much that you wouldn't need to ask you, but once we meet, they are completing our sentences.
Mm.
You get my point?
Mm.
You know, I want to even like the thing that I want to do now is the one year we had the bridal shower, you
Yes.
know, the other
Yes.
one that you told me about, and you even
Mm.
told me something. And I came so ready, like you were even surprised that what happened. Like you know, there's just there's the things other people complain
Mm.
about,
Yeah.
right? You kind
Mm.
of see,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
So the things other people are like, but what you know, like you understand that if you're doing what you're doing and you are doing that because God will be like this and it will be there on your life.
Mm.
Not everybody will feel that way.
Mm.
Yeah, not everybody will feel that way. I don't know, but carnality and I don't know how I'm going to put it now. Let me try to break it down the way I can. Why is that there is this struggle in people's relationship? Because we are too much in the soulish and fleshy kind of level. Yes. And so because the person I'm listening with you and hopefully I'm telling about, because it's probably what you're saying is probably gossip. And what you're saying is, yeah, okay, take for instance, I'm in this thing where I'm close to and what needs to break something through me, and you're here trying to bring up just about somebody that what yesterday or stuff like that, and I'm not ready to talk about that. Please tell me, like something in the word of God that so those are things that couple hide or whatever misunderstanding, but you're not in the mood to talk about those things at that time, and the person is feeling just at that time, and hence that. So I think we as believers would actually understand the fact that it's a big long
Wow. Okay. So, so our 30 minutes is like done. So we'll round up now. I feel like there's
All right.